All right, folks, I know it's been a long while for some Goosebumps content, but here's some Goosebumps movie content. That's right, folks. Of course, for those who actually are cool enough to actually watch, I went to the thrift store and actually found the Goosebumps movie book, movie novel. And it's different than the novelization, but hey, it's all good. So, now we're going to talk about the difference between what this book has to offer and what happened in the movie. And let me tell you, there is some stuff in this book where I'm like, dude, what happened? Like, dude, what happened? Because notice that I always talk about this is that in the trailer, you're like, hey, have you read all the Goosebumps books? Yeah. Do you know the weaknesses, right? Oh, yeah, sure. It's like, the weaknesses never came up to play at all in the movie. Only once when it came to Champ biting the werewolf. And the funniest part is that it's not even in this book. It is not even in this book. Yeah, so they wrote that in, apparently. But on the other hand, it is based on the movie, so we have no real telling on this is maybe like a script that they were going for in the first place, and then they were like, all right, we got to tweak it and everything, and then you got their actual first draft that had a few more monsters, and then, I don't know. It's hard to really point this out, but let's get into the book, shall we? First things first, when you enter the book, when you first read the book, there's actually there's a intro by none other than R.L. Stine. He writes the intro, then they actually tell us that there's two folks who actually write the book. So yeah, R.L. Stine did not write the book, but he did write the introduction in it. And it's kind of funny listening to the intro because he was like, when I found out that Jack Black was me, he just slammed his fist on the freaking breakfast table. Oh man, that's so damn funny. So he didn't actually I think taken from that, it's like he didn't actually like that Jack Black was going to play as him. Oh, man. Oh, but it turns out that eventually, as soon as he met Jack Black, he actually got confidence that Jack Black is going to do a decent job. But beforehand, he was like, oh, damn. All right, and one funny thing is that he did look at the thing and everything, and he is okay with the gigantic mantis, even though, again, I don't know which book the giant mantis is from. I mean, yes, we all point to Shocker on Shock Street, but I already got to listen in. Yeah, thanks to Squid Chip, I know what happened in Shocker on Shock Street. And the messed up part, just like what happened in the episode, is the mantis, the giant mantis wasn't in there. It was just miniature mantis. And I already talked about in another video of how they could have fixed it to make it so it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. Instead of giant mantis straight from the freaking dumb cover. Good job. Good job, man. Good job. But I will have to admit that this book actually shows a little taste for those who actually didn't pick up Slappy Birthday to You. Actually, Slappy Birthday to You was actually just Slappy's book. It was Slappy's book. The next books he's going to interrupt. We get to have a taste of how it will feel like if Slappy interrupts, because he does interrupt in the book many times. Yeah, so sadly, we could say, oh crap, he actually is ghostwriting this and these two guys are involved with it. But on the other hand, he might have just told them, hey, I'm doing this and I'm doing this for Slappy World. It's like, hey, it would be cool if you guys incorporate that idea too. It's like, oh, not bad. Good idea. And they implemented it in here. So it's like, Arl Stine might have gave him a nice little nudge, a nice little wink of what they should do, just to give a little small taste of what Slappy World would actually be like, when he actually interrupts. Anyways, first things first is it turns out that in the book, they actually show more things that we saw in the town. In the town, we saw lots of things from stores and everything in this local restaurant that they talk about that actually has Sushi Wednesdays. While in the movie, we just got a little small glimpse, and I think we might have saw the restaurant, but it was so far away, you can't even tell that maybe that is the restaurant, and maybe they did have Sushi Wednesdays on there, but there's no way of telling unless somehow Blu-ray makes it even clearer, so when you zoom in, you can see. But in the book, they had some usual Goosebumps humor, of course. And of course, the book basically allows you to get expanded minds of what the main character's thinking. So we get to have more what's going on with Zach's life. So we get to hear what Zach thinks about, Zach's thoughts on someone, and everything else. So funny thing is that while they're going to their house, they pass by the police station, and the two cops that will get introduced are actually asleep in the car. Wow, man. Wow. And the funniest part is kind of like what happened in the movie and in the book. You would figure they're not doing asleep. It's like, yeah, if this was R-rated, you know they won't be freaking there asleep in the car. It would be more like someone's giving someone a you-know-what. I know, I messed up, but still, I'm just saying, from what it seems like, I'm going to continue. So, in the book, we fast forward. It turns out the aunt talks more about how ugly he was as a baby. So we get even more topics of this crap. And then it turns out the hat that's bedazzled shouldn't be completely white. In the book, it actually is pink and purple design. Meaning that, oh God, it's even more hideous. Like, oh God, have mercy upon my soul. And yeah, then it's like if you are flipping through the pages, page 7 actually explains Hannah vividly. It's like, it's creepy, you know? It's very creepy. It's like, oh, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen and everything. I'm like, oh, man. And it's written by grown men. It really is kind of like, ooh, ooh, creepy, freaking damn creepy. And then we scroll even more, and the funny part is that Hannah's a bit of a perv, man. Hannah's a bit of a perv. I mean, you know, guys, if it's a girl and a guy is watching her and, oh my gosh, oops, my box is tipped over and there goes her bra and undies. It's like, yeah, guys looking at that. That makes sense. Girl looking at a boxers. It's just looking at those boxers. It's like, wait, girls don't do that. Girls don't really do that. And difference is that he actually, all the boxes fell down while in the movie, the bottom box was not actually good enough package that poof. Yeah. And you have more of Zach talking to Stine because when Stine came in there, it's like, yeah, Zach actually there's a little bit more talking time. And now here's one of the big changes that they did in the movie is that instead of when the mom was unpacking and yeah, because in the movie, it was a photo of the father and son. Yeah, it was a photo of Zach and his dad. But in the book, it turns out it was a fire department plank. Yeah, so I don't know what to say on this one. I don't know. Maybe it's too much money to get that plank. Let me tell you, if they would have actually have gotten that plank, I would still have to believe that that would be some awesome freaking prop that someone was going to win. That would be an awesome prop. So, when he's actually watching the camcorder, it turns out that this was instead of what we got in the movie, which was it's been changed for the father and son playing baseball, playing catch. In the book, it turns out that it was a award ceremony. Yeah, his dad was actually getting a medal, and we actually get to know his name. You get to know his freaking name. His name is Lieutenant Neil Cooper. We get to hear his freaking damn name. Why we didn't get to hear in the movie, we may never know. And of course, we go down even further, and basically, in the movie, he said, oh man, I looked at some pictures of me. I do look like Baby Golem. In the book, he actually says, look like Baby King Kong. And I was trying to understand what's going on in this one, but in the book in page 14, it turns out the assembly happened at the end of the day, which does seem weird, technically. It does seem weird, but in the movie, of course, you know that it was early in the morning. I think that was a good change because having an assembly at the end of the day, kind of weird. Kind of weird. And one thing they added, which I have to actually tell you, is that the girl that calls Champ Chump, she was added into the movie. Yeah, she wasn't in the book at all. They made sure that Champ didn't actually get to do anything in the book. Yeah, so no redeeming qualities there. We'll continue on with that later. We get some maybe added backyard moments, I think, and page 17. And it's funny, in the book alone, only in the book, she says, I do not like to leave my father alone. I don't like to leave him alone in the house. I'm like, what? And of course, in the book, he was the one that pushes her to go to a place that might be cool. In the movie, of course, you know, she was the one that's like, follow me. That's it. Not even mentioning the fact that she don't like to leave her dad alone. Amazing change, isn't it? So all the way, going all the way to the point of, oh yeah, and I think they didn't eat cotton candy. You know, Zach didn't eat cotton candy, so that's like one minor thing that they got rid of. So as soon as Stine came at him and said, what are you doing? I warned you, stay away from us or bad things will happen. And well, in this one, Zach got so scared that he ran into the house, then ran into his room. Yes, Zach was a bit more of a coward than he was in the movie. And the amazing part is, of course, you know, the whole thing. Oh my God! And he's like, I gotta call the cops. So he called the cops, and it turns the freak out that in the movie and in the book, they actually switched genders. So the girl cop is a guy cop, and the guy cop is a girl cop. Yeah, so the guy in training is actually a girl in training, and the senior officer is actually went from girl to boy, even though the book had it better. The book had it better. I mean, the girl being the one with in charge, it had a little bit more. Oh wow, man! Why don't you two get a room? Meanwhile, in this one, it was the fact in the movie, it was like, well, I don't see anything on this one. It's just basically they're stupid. Unlike the other thing is like, oh, they have sexual tension, man. Oh man, I wonder what happens if we just leave them in the room alone for 1 second. So Stine actually mentions oh my gosh. Stine mentions that he has, his wife has a new husband, but that was never actually mentioned in the book. And in the book, he actually said, was it a crime to have surround sound? While in the movie, he said, is it a crime being a blah de blah de blah? I don't know. It's a big word. And Brooks actually in the movie, oh, sorry. Brooks actually spoiled the movie that he was watching in the book. While in the movie, she has no freaking idea what movie it is. And of course, in the movie, they actually added the fact that, oh, the kid's on drugs. He should seek help. Yeah, weird. In the book, Zach actually spouted anger at his mom. Just straight up spouted anger. And in the book, there's no mentioning why Stine actually drove away. We have no idea why he actually drove away. No mentioning of, oh yeah, I called the cops and faked and stuff like that. It's like, no, he didn't do any of that. It's kind of weird. So that's one little pothole in the freaking book. But in the book, as soon as you go to page 42, it turns out that he has shrunken skulls in his study. He has voodoo dolls. He has tribal masks. Of course, you know why they couldn't do that in the movie. You know why, right? Whoa. I don't want to get copyright infringement. It's stupid. Stupid. Okay, let's continue on. So, Champ, yeah, so as soon as all this crap happens, and we fast forwarding even more, so it turns out that when it came to Abominable Snowman, he didn't actually charge because of Champ screaming. Yeah, so it turns out that freaking Abominable Snowman over here, he actually just roared and then started wrecking without any reason to do it. Without any reason. He just started wrecking crap. Meanwhile, in the movie, for those already, you know what happens in the movie. The fact of he just explored the movie, then explored the, I'll say in quotations, the study, and then eventually, as soon as Champ is like, he starts wrecking crap. Yeah, he starts freaking wrecking crap. He wrecks crap without any reason. Or a leg knocked over. I forgot what our leg knocked over. So apparently, yeah, this is actually true. Where Hannah actually went on pursuit alone. Yeah, she was going after Abominable Snowman alone, which yeah, that did happen in the movie. But one difference is that along the way, Abominable Snowman wrecked freaking cars. Yeah, cars were destroyed. Car alarms were blaring. Meanwhile, in the movie, there was no trace at all. I have to say, kind of would have liked to have the idea of, yeah, Abominable Snowman wrecking as well. Even though Champ actually in the movie mentioned, did you know what he did in Pasadena? That's why you don't want to mess with him. It's like, yeah, well, he didn't do anything in the neighborhood, unlike in the book. So, yeah. And Champ and Zach gets to talk a little bit more while they were going after Hannah. And of course, there's some roars going on. Yeah, fast forwarding more. Yeah, Abominable Snowman actually is still roaring a little bit. And more Zach actually. So yeah, as soon as everyone's saved, yeah, Abominable Snowman has been captured. They actually have a good talk with, yeah, Stine. Stine and Zach actually has a good talk. Zach actually teases Stine so much more than he did in the movie. It was so funny. It was like, oh damn. And the funny part is that Stine in this one, yeah, in this moment, Stine actually is very, very reserved. He just kept on driving. He didn't do what he did in the movie, which was stopped and everything. So, and of course, as soon as we get into their house, so as soon as we get to their house, it turns out that they have hidden holes and hidden hiding spots. So behind something, you actually have a suitcase, and then under a floorboard, you actually have passports, credit cards, and cash. Which, of course, in the movie they did do it, but they didn't actually show that he was having hiding spaces and ready to go. And well, guess what, folks? It's time to. So, Slappy has been released, and one side note is in the movie, they revealed that the Night of Living Dummies book was already wrecked. I mean, the freaking lock was already destroyed. Meanwhile, in the book, it got destroyed because of the Abominable Snowman. While in the movie, it was already freaking screwed. It was already most likely screwed because, well, Stine even said that, oh, then that thing's on the fritz. I think he said that. He said, yeah, that thing always acted up and everything. So Slappy has more jokes, which Slappy did have jokes in the movie, but he has even more jokes, and even these jokes sting. Like he told Stine, it's like, is that your face or did you whirl on your neck? And he's like, Stine, you lie. You lie so much more than a shag rug. It's like there's lots more jokes like that in the book. So I don't know what happened to all those jokes, but I do have to admit, this is an eye opener. It's crazy. This book eye opened to what was going on in the movie, which was like, holy frick. It's like I took some drugs and like, whoa, because I noticed so much more that happened in the movie that somehow I was asleep to. And like I said, the lock broke that night. Not like what happened in the movie, but the lock broke at that night, not been on the fritz. So we go all the way to the point of where he's been released and he's releasing everyone. And now we get to the law gnomes. So in the movie, we just had Champ with the freaking frying pan. In the book, Zach had the frying pan and Champ had a rolling pin. They both were going at it, trying to get rid of the gnomes. And Hannah actually had a gnome at disposal, while since Champ didn't want to be looked as a little bit of, it's kind of funny. It's like this one, he looks kind of like a hero, while in the movie, he was just garbage disposal, which technically it was Hannah in the movie that actually did the garbage. No, wait, Hannah was in the book doing the garbage disposal to a gnome, while in the movie, Champ. So now we get to in quotations deleted scene. I'm not sure if it's an actual deleted scene, but I will say we might as well mark it as one. So this is a deleted scene that was funny as frick, where you had Slappy. Well, technically we had Hannah, which I remember. I think Hannah was the haunted car's name. If not, then stupid. But anyways, the haunted car was actually driving. Yeah, and in front of them was a cyclist who turned out to be a freaking damn lawyer. And the lawyer's like, go around, and everything. And well, the car drove him off the road. He ran him off the road. And he's like, I'm a lawyer. I'll sue your ass. I'll sue you. And Slappy made a messed up crack. So yeah, there's another joke in there. And another little miniature deleted scene is the fact that a woman actually screamed due to monsters being released into the freaking house. Now, between this, it's like between all this is where Fifi was added, because, well, in the book, you don't really get to hear Fifi at all. Technically, in the book, we actually get to hear about vampire dogs, plural, vampire dogs. So in the movie, Fifi is in this right here, right? About this scene right here, this is where Fifi would most likely be in if we were trying to fuse the book and the movie together. So anyways, we got Champ, who got roughed up a little bit more than he did in the movie because, well, the Visible Boy was doing the love slaps. Yes, he was slapping the crap out of freaking Champ. And then, well, what happened in the movie, same thing that happened in the book. So, little cute talk with Hannah and Zach, because they're a little flirty because, well, they have to go to get the typewriter, and, well, Zach actually asks Hannah out to going to the dance, cutely. And this was in page 81 and 82. And Stine actually threatened him after putting his hand between them two and said, don't you dare make me stop this car and put you in the trunk. That's right, he was going to put him in the back of the trunk in the car. Oh, man, isn't that crazy or what? Now, here's where we get a little bit different. This is where we get a little bit different, and they added a few more people. So ghosts, yes, from crazy enough, ghosts were actually walking in the road, and at first they thought it was regular people, and well, they accidentally ran inside one, and then they crashed the car, which is like, oh, what the fuck? They crashed the car a little bit, so the car is a little bit damaged. Apparently, it wasn't wrecked; it was a little bit damaged. Then the Mantis actually showed up, and well, there was some more Mantis action, which, looking at the movie, I'm like, oh wow, the Mantis had more screen time than what I thought he did. But anyways, yeah, and then technically it was some bumper car action where he was bumping on one leg, and he was bumping into another leg, and bumping to another leg, and bumping to another leg. And of course, there was a lot more mucus action going on too. The Mantis was like, bleh, blah, 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 blah. Like the freaking Halloween Simpsons episode where Bart was trying to turn a toad into a prince, and instead, well, he turned him into that gross blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, the car, as soon as they actually made it to the supermarket, the car actually turned over so many more times, which, of course, if they put it in a movie, the actors would get hurt. Actors and or stunt drivers would get freaking damn hurt more than what you would like to happen in the movie. Then after that, we have Mantis doing monster trucks. Monster trucks. She's revealing the new monster truck, Shocker on Shock Street. Classic, don't sue them. Yeah, but still, the Mantis actually wrecked their car like they saw in the movie. Then he started wrecking all the other cars in the parking lot. So he was stepping on every single car in the parking lot because, well, they could be inside of him. And he wanted to be very, very sure that he got him. So in the supermarket, in the movie, we didn't hear crap. While in the book, they had in the supermarket playing Yep, that's right. Muzak was playing. So the crazy part is that R.L. Stine in the book actually said, hey, we got to get some supplies. So they were actually grabbing food. They're like, frick this, grab food. While in the movie, they were just going in there to make a shortcut. And Champ actually got orange drink instead of in the book, he actually got Pepsi. Not sure if why they don't want to put product placement in there, which of course, well, you know, Goosebumps books always have product placement. But in the movie, they were like, okay, well, Pepsi said no, and Chuck Mangione said no. That's kind of suck. I would figure Chuck Mangione would be like, sure, dude, use my song. But apparently not. Okay, whatever, freak it. Like in the movie where he had a minor cut or something, or whatever, a bruise. In the book, he actually did have a cut on his face. He actually did have a forehead cut that was kind of actually messed up looking. And well, in the movie, apparently, the werewolf was distracted by eating meat, just like in the book where he was distracted eating meat, but he actually ate 2 pieces of meat, big pieces of meat. And well, the werewolf actually ruined the kiss moment in the book. Yeah, sure did. And instead of Axe body spray that R.L. Stine used, instead he put Purell on him. He put Purell all over himself. I guess freaking Jack Black didn't want to do that, so yeah, Axe body spray, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but messed up as well. So the funniest part is that Zach actually hid in the doghouse. Yeah, Zach was like, well, the werewolf is coming. I might as well hide. And the sad part is that Stine was in trouble, so Zach had no choice but to get out of his hiding spot and save him. And the werewolf eventually got distracted by a rubber stake. While in the movie, it was actually a big rubber turkey leg. So the big funniest part about the movie is that in the movie, the werewolf took seconds, only seconds to break down the door. While in the book, it actually took him 5 minutes. 5 freaking minutes. And Auntie's dress actually was covered in poodle fur, which I didn't notice the fur in the movie, but thanks to the book, I was like, oh. So yes, like if you look in the movie, her hair is covered with fur. Her clothes are covered with fur, which I didn't really notice. All I thought was like, well, she was there with a freaking damn poodle, and then she drove away. I kind of would have preferred to know how did that play out. Did she knock the freaking poodle the hell out, then drove away, or what? We don't freaking damn know, and most likely we'll maybe never know. Personally, I would have liked it if they made an awesome segment in the movie, well, in the DVD/Blu-ray, where they were like, hey, why don't we show you what happened to the freaking aunt? It's like, yeah, there's a little segment where it's like, what happened to the aunt? And it's like, you play it, and then it's like, woo! Oh my God! She runs for it, and the freaking poodle follows her, and it's like, that would be funny. I would love it. I mean, I don't like the person who plays as her, but to watch that will make my day. I mean, Julian Bell, I don't like her at all, but to see her getting chased by a freaking vampire poodle would have made my day. But instead, okay, fine, freak it. So one thing that happened in the book is that the aunt is bedazzled so damn much that she actually bedazzled a sign that was in the back of the store. Now let's fast forward. So Slappy actually had monitors showing the monster's mayhem. He went into the police office and did the usual thing of freezing people. And he actually had all the monitors cued in on what was going around the city. And well, it turns out that the lawn gnomes, just like the aliens actually, I guess they have gratitude, which that's kind of funny. It's like in the book, they actually mention how they were like, yes, you gave us our freedom. We are loyal to you, sir. And I'm like, oh. So the gnomes actually report to Slappy telling them what happened because technically Slappy was hoping that all 400 of them, yes, 400 of them, actually was enough to kill Stine. Actually, I think they actually wanted to kill him in this one. Yeah, you didn't want to capture him. They wanted to kill him. So, I don't know. Anyways, we get a nice little fast forward to Champ's name. The reason why Champ has that name, which of course in the movie I apparently wasn't paying attention, but in the book it just mentioned it as well, where he's a big sports fan. Well, his family are big sports people. His dad won a medal in 1992 Olympics, which is like, it's kind of funny because you actually filmed the movie in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, I see what you did there. And I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. And he also mentioned in the book, not in the movie, that his dad actually was a soldier. He actually got a medal saving his platoon. So, yeah. Oh, his mom is actually a sprinter. That was mentioned in the movie. She's a two-time debate champion. They didn't mention that in the movie either. So there's like a little bit of stuff that they actually mentioned in it. Then we had another kiss scene that was about to happen, but a zombie, aka graveyard ghoul, ruined the moment, grabbing and pulled on Zach's freaking ankle. Yeah, grabbed hold of it. It's like, oh, what the? While in the movie, of course, you know what happened. The moon wrecked the moment. The moon revealed something very shocking. So in the book, Stine actually called Champ a dumbhead. And what's even crazy is that Stine actually almost died. The freaking ghouls were pulling him right in there. And Zach and Hannah actually had Stine's hand. They were trying to pull very hard, but sadly the ghouls were actually winning. And well, Stine actually just kicked him in the face and said some messed up harsh stuff that actually made the ghouls shocked. Yeah, the ghouls were like, oh my gosh, but they didn't say anything. They were like, what? So he kicked him and got free. And Champ, well, in the book, Champ actually was hiding in the bushes, while in the movie, he just totally ran away. Now, so it turns out that in the book, we had something referred as Stephen King's pen. And the funny part is that the pen was in the movie, but in the book, they dwelled on it so damn much. Which I guess in the movie, to compensate, that's why when it came to the drive where Stine was getting lots of freaking crap from Zach, he didn't freak out. So they decided to put the freak out in the freaking car scene so they don't have to deal with Stephen King's pen, which it's a funny gag in his book. It really is. So, like I said, vampire poodles. And, well, we fast forward to page 110, where they actually asked people who read Goosebumps back in the day. And at first, no one really raised their hand, and Champ did, and Zach did, and almost everyone did. And basically, this is just touching on the part of we know their weaknesses. You know their weaknesses. What we need to do now is weaponize and barricade. So they get weapons and they barricade, while in a movie, only Zach actually shown using a bat against the freaking mutant insects, which is like, what the fuck, man? It's like, what the fuck? Why you touched upon the whole, you know, your weaknesses and crap, and yet, yeah. So the scarecrows, and this is kind of funny. It's like some of it we can understand why they didn't put in the movie. So we got the scarecrows getting hit with baseball bats, and they're 10 foot tall or something. So that means that in the movie, in real life, there was actually people walking on stilts. So if they kept on bamming and hitting the people with stilts with baseball bats hitting their legs, well, that means that they're going to cause serious injuries. So unless they actually use the whole, thing to cushion their fall. Anyways, let's continue on, shall we? So the vampires actually are getting hit by garlic mashed potatoes and actually worked. And funny enough, we do have a character that only shows up in the book and never in the movie. Seth the goth kid. And the funny part is that Seth got hit by the freaking garlic mashed potatoes because he thought he was a vampire. And he's like, dude, this is me. It's like, oh, sorry, Seth. And Seth actually was in one of his classes. I forgot which. Maybe it was English or science. Not. So what they got for the law gnomes are bowling balls. For the aliens, Bunsen burners. I don't know why. For the mummy, they have glue traps so you'll get unraveled. Mutant insects, they got baseball bats, which, of course, like I said, in a movie they did it, but that's the only one they did. And we go fast forward more. And Slappy actually is looking for Stine. And he actually is walking down the hallway saying, Stine, where are you? And everything else. Then we have Slappy's light trick. And we get more dialogue in there. And Slappy's actually trying to say, join me. You know you love the dark side. We had that little moment there. And, well, of course, Stine said no. And Slappy did not slam his fingers into the typewriter. He sure didn't. He actually broke his fingers. That's right. He grabbed his fingers and yeah, so his fingers are actually broke. He broke his fingers so he couldn't actually type right. Instead of slamming his fingers in the thing. So I don't know what to say. Maybe in the movie he got a better chance, while in the book he got brutalized. But yeah. And, well, in the movie they elaborated on a journey to the storage. Yeah. Oh, yes, the storage area. The storage room. So in the book, they actually mentioned jack-o'-lanterns. So the Attack of the jack-o'-lanterns were in the book. So yeah, thumbs up on that, I guess. Stine actually had a touching sacrifice honor talk, which he did in the movie, but there was a little bit more in there. This is page 118, 119. And they showed the tackling dummy in the book. In the book, they showed the tackling dummy, while in the movie, they just said, okay, we've got an idea. And it's like, oh, well, where's the tackling dummy? Where the freak? It's like, yeah, I had to actually, as soon as I watched the movie again, I was like, oh, there's the tackling dummy, which they didn't really mention anything about a tackling dummy in the movie, but okay, whatever. Now Slappy gives the order after getting exploded. Actually, no, he didn't get exploded yet. He told everyone, hey, we're going to kill Stine this time. We're not going to retrieve him anymore. We're going to kill him. And the ghoul, yeah, it's like, and the ghoul, when the freaking bus came over, the ghoul pulled the wire and caused the explosion. Meanwhile, in the movie, the werewolf and the abominable snowman pulled it. Well, we still have him driving in the book, which, yeah, sure, I guess. I mean, at least he got his fingers, all his fingers aren't freaking bashed. So it's only just a few of his fingers that are broken, which that means that, yeah, he can still drive all right. It's just that there will be some massive pain, too. And Stine actually dictates as he drives, so Zach is actually typing while he's driving. And then we go fast forward even more. And it turns freaking out that Slappy actually received damage from the explosion. Slappy's face is actually burned from the explosion. Yeah, so his left side of his face is actually burned. And this does make me have to make another video on what the fuck. This does make a video on what the fuck. But I'm not going to talk about it in this video. I'll make another one. So Zach is actually watching in horror while not typing. Yeah, he's not typing at all. He's just watching in horror what's going on with R.L. Stine and also what's going on with them, with the freaking ghouls who are climbing up the Ferris wheel. While Champ is trying to make some assist in stupid ways. Like, he actually threw his shoe at one of the ghouls and tried to knock him out, which he sure didn't. Sure didn't. And well, we have Zach struggling and Stine. Oh yeah, so yeah, as soon as all of that crap happened, the Ferris wheel's going down and everything, and well, the book flew out of Zach's hand, sadly. They got the book, everyone opened it and everything, and well, Slappy was gripping for his dear life not to get absorbed in the book. And Stine cracked Slappy's fingers off. Yeah, so his fingers got broken off, and it's like, there, eye for an eye, bastard. And of course, well, as you guys can figure out, Hannah was not a freaking monster in this version. In this version, Hannah was actually a real, actual person. I don't know what to think about that. Maybe another video would be on that one too. So, the school was closed down for a few days. Champ and Hannah actually came over to Zach's house and they played some video games, also watched TV. And well, Champ actually is talking about the fact of he had books down in the basement and he could have sworn that he heard some voices. And Zach said it was all in your head, man. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. It's all in your head, Mr. Tweety. And as soon as Zach actually goes back to the freaking school, it turns out that Zach is super popular now. Zach is very popular. All in the movie, none of that crap actually happened. But anyways, let's just make a little narration of what's going on. It took me 3 to 4 hours to read this. It was actually 135 to 140 pages, and it was a push for me because, well, trying to do whatever. So there we go. That's the difference between what's going on in this book and what happened in this movie. Instead of me actually making another video and tagging it on here and using stupid YouTube editor, I'm just going to say it here. Folks, that book I actually was reading, I actually read that I had in my hands, is up for grabs, folks. And I would like to do this for every single video I do for Goosebumps that is a thorough book review, unless I tell you otherwise. So, to get this book, and sadly, no, this is not a sweepstakes where it's like, oh, I win or something. This is actually one of the ones where it's like, if you want this book and you're like, well, I can't find it anywhere else, of course, I bet you can find it online. Me personally, I'm like, this book is going to just be $5 flat, shipping and handling included. So if you do want to have this book, which this book is not actually in good condition. I mean, it's good condition. It's not like the side of it is ripped off the frick up and everything. It actually is in good condition. It's been worn, it's been used, but it's not to the point of where it's like, you ripped me off, bastard. It's taped all over it, everything. It's like, no, it's not like that. It actually is pretty good. It's just that it's not at the point of where someone who actually really want to collect and be like, hey, look how flawless this book is. It's not like that. But for anyone out there who actually would like to have this book and take it off my hands, comment down below and we will try to work something out to where we actually make it. If you are international, I don't know how that will work out, but hey, if you are international and you're the one who's like, I want to do it, then there you go. I think should be first come, first serve, but it really is kind of how it truly works out. But thank you for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. And of course, for those who actually want to see the notes of this, this is actually posted on Tumblr as well. So you can actually read my raw notes of this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for another one that's coming very, very shortly.